Hey friends, I'd like to invite you to a new webinar, Health and the Lunar Nodes with Kira Sutherland. And I have Kira with me today to tell you about the webinar. Hey Kira, thanks for joining me.
Hey Tony, always good to see you.
Yeah, so good to see you. Health and the Lunar Nodes. So can you tell folks a little bit about what you've planned and what you're going to share with them in this webinar?
Sure. So, super excited to do this one. I haven't lectured on this before. Last year, I tend to do a New Year's lecture for you or at the beginning of the year so people can kind of reset their health and have a think about what's going on. And this year, the topic is on the lunar nodes. So we are going to dabble a little bit in where the nodes are now. And so, Scorpio and Taurus, but also how we're having the shift into Libra, Aries, and how that's going to change how we need to approach health for all of us in some ways, depending on where these are in your chart, especially what houses they're going to activate. So I'm going to go into that a little bit for the year ahead, but a lot of the lecture is actually on the nodes, the nodal oppositions, and how they play out in our natal health chart. So talking about whatever nodes you're actually born with and where that energetically assists us in our health and where it can actually create weaknesses and draining of energy. And as typical Kira Sutherland naturopathy fashion, I have to give you something. It's not just to teach you about that. There's always not an assignment, but things that you can go and do or use coming from natural medicine background and health nutrition to help try to stabilize your nodes and work with them so they maybe aren't such big trigger points health wise, because I think a lot of people don't even realize they are trigger points in stopping and starting with some health issues.
Thanks for that. Kira, will you be talking about the nodes in all of the houses, or are you just going to share a few choice examples?
That will be, that's a good question. Basically, I'm going to talk more on the signs of the nodes, but I will dabble into the houses, and I'm one of those people who can't leave a list half done. So you will get a little information on each house. You know me, Tony. I can't not.
Yeah, I mean, for those who haven't been to one of Kira's webinars, you will leave with a very good slide deck.
Yes. I was talking to someone else about that just the other day, and I'm like, I think sometimes I go through double the volume of information of other people just in the way I teach. So yeah, you be awake or
right.
Yeah,
well, the good news is it's recorded, so you can always replay.
Yeah. And you get the slide deck, right? The notes are downloadable because you could never keep up writing notes in my lectures. That's like, I always laugh live when I watch people try to keep notes in my lectures. I'm like, put the pen down. And I'll give you the slide deck.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Can you, for those who don't know you already and know your work, can you tell folks a little bit about your background in naturopathy? You mentioned it, so maybe you can just tell folks.
So, oh my gosh, I'm actually American born. People get that confused as well. I'm American born, but all of my adult life is in Australia. So I'm an Australian naturopath, which is a slightly different qualification to a North American naturopath. But I'm a naturopath, a nutritionist, an herbalist, a homeopath, and I'm an astrologer. And so I do regular astrology, as I refer to it, but I basically only lecture in medical astrology. So I have, medical astrology was part of medicine. And then I have my naturopathy, and it's kind of infused into this naturopathic astrology style of teaching medical astrology. So it's got a traditional basis, but it's very modernized into how to use it for you now. And if you don't know me, I'm all about the practical. I'm all about give you lists of things to go and do rather than just theory. Because you have to have something to go and do.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're so good at that, at bringing it down to earth and giving people action tips for sure. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for sharing that with us. I look forward to the webinar. And if you are interested in joining us, head over to astrologyuniversity.com/events. You'll find this on the event page if you're tuning in beforehand. If you happen to be watching this video after the event's already over, you can just tune in and watch the replay instantly. Head over to astrologyuniversity.com and just type in Kira's name in the search bar, and all of her webinars will come up. So just type in Kira Sutherland, or you can type in health and the lunar nodes. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Kira. It's so great to see you.
I'm always good to see you, Tony, and I'm super excited for this one.
Beautiful. Okay, well, thanks. And until next time, take good care, folks. And I hope to see some of you at the webinar.